welcome to Wizard Weekly, where we talk about everything in gaming. Grand Theft Auto 6 is one of, if not the biggest imminent release when it comes to gaming in modern times. You know, we've been expecting the game to come out in late 2025, at least that's what we've been told by, Take-Two Interactive, the game's publisher, and Rockstar Games, the developer. And, well, we have reason to believe that that's not going to be the case. At least right now we do. That's the trend and the frenzy that everyone's going into in social media. Now, when it comes to gaming itself, rumors and leaks are already intensified by like 2 times, at least in the last 5 years, because people don't like to fact check. They take everything at face value. Social media is rampant. TikTok brain epidemic is a real thing. People suffer from it. I feel sorry for you guys if you do, because I do too. But I'd say all that gets intensified by at least 5 times the normal amount when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 6, or really anything Rockstar Games does, just because they have such a broad fan base. One of the first developers people even know about when it comes to gaming is Rockstar Games, just because of Grand Theft Auto and what Grand Theft Auto is to many of the modern gaming times, with GTRP, Grand Theft Auto 5 mods. It's a really big placeholder in modern gaming. So anything that echoes potentially from this upcoming game is going to get a radical reaction from the base public. But basically, a couple days ago, I think maybe 2 by now, this guy Liam on Twitter posted this pretty vague post on the platform, claiming that they have insider reports on Grand Theft Auto 6 and it being delayed from its late 2025 original release schedule. Now, if you're wondering as to who the hell this guy is, I had to do my research on him myself. Apparently, he is I think staff writer or editor at GTABase.com, which is pretty much a fandom page for anything that has to do with Grand Theft Auto and all the previous Grand Theft Auto games. I personally used to go back to this website back in my childhood looking at Grand Theft Auto 4 mods, even though I played on PlayStation 3 and I was too young to realize that you can't get mods, the same mods that you get on PC on PlayStation 3. I was young. We were all dumb at one time, so don't judge me too much. But this guy he's pretty known to some people in the community, so people really took what he said for face value, and unfortunately it ended up with a lot of people just looking not in their best moments. You know what I mean? And I'll read it here. It says, exclusive, Grand Theft Auto 6 has been eternally delayed by Rockstar Games, and they're already decided on the early to mid 2026 release schedule. PC is planned for around 12 to 18 months after the console launch. This information comes from multiple devs across 2 studios. Multiple devs across 2 studios is where my guy got his information from. No links, I guess obviously to protect them maybe is what's going right now. Now, to Liam's credit, we technically still at this point don't exactly know what he was told and who he was told this by, since nothing was made public and nobody has gone on around to completely disprove what he says. All we have is what Take-Two Interactive said earlier, I think in June or in August, not in August, but in June, when they released their earnings report. And here they have all their product releases that they released since April 1st of this year. We got No Rest for the Wicked, Top Spin 2K25. Fun ass game, by the way. Why does nobody talk about tennis? That's a fun ass game. I enjoyed that. But Star Wars Hunters, and we have their upcoming releases, which was NBA 2K25, WWE 2K25, Civilization 7, and obviously Grand Theft Auto 6, which they have for the fall calendar of 2025. Now, this was just a month or 2 ago. Plus, we also got Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick, who is a freaking gym freak. He put the weights down and went into the news media, and he said this
about creating an experience that no one's seen before. And Rockstar Games seeks perfection in what they do. Perfection is indeed hard to measure. It really is more subjective than objective.
How confident are you in fall of 2025 in that forecast? I mean, you just gave the original, which was the full year, potential release in February. So what degree of confidence?
Well, there is slippage in the industry, and we're not immune from that. However, we narrowed the timing because we are highly confident in that timing.
Are there any clues you can give us about the game? I mean, I know I got to be very careful, but
let's stop listening to the news media act like they know anything about this game, because they do not. So that's what we officially have from, you know, the company itself, which is why people are starting to push back on what he's saying and start to realize, you know, hey, you know, we only have what we really know, and you're giving us this information that has no, you know, no backing, no evidence, nothing shared. He didn't give out any names, but to be fair, it could possibly still be true. You know, I'm not saying that this is just outright wrong. You know, it would be pretty on par for, you know, Take-Two Interactive to delay this title, since, you know, both Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5 in the past got delayed from their original, you know, release timeline that they were going for. Plus, Grand Theft Auto 6, we can only guess from what we see is like 2-3 times the game that those titles were in their time. Plus 2 or 3 times the budget from what we hear. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if what Liam said is true, but, you know, in today's age, it's really important for people not to take everything at face value, which luckily, you know, Twitter has this thing where, you know, readers can add context, and, you know, they linked all the things that I just showed you guys. And yeah, so we technically don't know if it's true or not, but to bite the bullet and say that it's true just because this has a, you know, a high number of likes and retweets and people are just talking about it all the time, that's a problem, because then, you know, if it comes out that it's not true, then my guy Liam loses all his credibility, and then he's just gonna be known as the guy that lied about Grand Theft Auto 6 being delayed, and that just sucks. So overall, hopefully Grand Theft Auto 6 doesn't get delayed, because, you know, I'm looking forward to having a 2025 release schedule. I can only hope that this title lives up to its expectation, but at the same time, you know, it could happen. That's really what more people need to be saying about this, instead of, you know, saying hard no or yes, because we don't know. And moving on from the tales of Rockstar Games and, you know, Grand Theft Auto, let's, you know, ground it more to the rated E for everyone type of, you know, category of gaming, because we got Sony's Astrobot that released on the 6th, and I've heard nothing but positive things about this title, and for good reason. I mean, look at it, man. It is a gorgeous platformer, accessible for all ages. You know, you don't have to have lore to understand this game. Like, it is just a really cute title that just came out for PlayStation, and really one that many argue that's needed right now. You see, what Team Asobi did, you know, the developers of this game, they were able to take a whole bunch of IPs that PlayStation has, and they were basically able to celebrate them in this platform title as, you know, skins. You know, people have skins of, you know, Crash Bandicoot, what's his name, Parappa, the rap game from the 90s, Kratos. I can show you guys. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Like, here's all the skins in the game. You know, got like a little Big Planet skin right here. Just a really fun, lighthearted game that's being praised a lot right now for good reason. And not just with its really good presentation, the game has some dope ass, you know, game mechanics and really cool and intuitive levels. Like, it's a really just overall good platform title. You know, plus you combine that with the capabilities of the DualSense controller that gives your fingertips an orgasm every time you hold it. It's a beast of a game, and people have been praising it a lot for a pretty good reason. And as far as right now, the game is sitting at a, what is it, 90, oh yeah, guys, you guys can see it, 94 out of 100 on Metacritic. Now, I don't like game reviews at all. I don't really watch them that much unless it's a title that I know completely nothing about, because people have, you know, the biases and whatnot. It's just not a good time for game reviews. But I do know that to get a 94 in this gaming era is a pretty big deal to some people. At least, you know, some people live their whole life, you know, by what outlets like Metacritic and, you know, IGN have to say about certain titles. So, you know, if that's anyone that you know, or maybe you, it's been pretty praised by a lot of people right now. And it seems like Asobi is, you know, still trying to ride the success of this title, because they recently announced that the DLC is going to be coming out in 2024, where they're going to be adding speed runs, some more new character models. They said they were toying with some sort of idea with like I guess like maybe a toy box mode. I don't know. They said something about toys. I Yeah, but if we can, we'd also like to insert something a bit toy feeling, something that could be really like for any player, but we're not too sure about that one. Yeah, so I'm guessing maybe like a toy box mode. You know, if you guys ever played Disney Infinity 3.0, where you can play as any character and just create pretty much anything in the world of a sandbox. So that'd be pretty cool, you know, to have all the different bots with all the PlayStation characters and just, you know, maybe creating your own world. I don't know. I'm just talking to my ass here. I don't know. I haven't got the chance to play this title yet since I'm still in the midst of playing Mario Galaxy on the Wii, and you know, I don't like playing more than one platform game at one time because, you know, it overwhelms me for some reason. I don't know why. But it's pretty funny because people say that Astrobot is the spiritual successor to Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And I can see that because both are lighthearted games. Both have, you know, once again, really good presentation and really cool levels that take advantage of the controllers of their time. So I'm definitely going to get my hands on Astrobot whenever I can. It just probably won't be anytime soon because, like I said, you know, I'm pretty wrapped up in my guy Mario and what he got going on in different planets. So that's, you know, this is way down the line, but overall, really cool thing to see PlayStation get some sort of W, especially right now when they're acting, you know, pretty dumb sometimes. And before we transition to the last topic of this video, you know, my closing statement, if you will, I wanted to show you guys something that I've seen on the internet in the depths of, you know, just me looking at shit on the internet, because it's a pretty good reminder that, you know, you share most of the time when you're on social media or any social platforms where there's some sort of like interaction with a whole bunch of people in the community, you're sharing space with a lot of people that are just dumb as shit, like just plain empty-minded in the brain. Like I said earlier, you know, when I know next to nothing about a title or its franchise, I like to read the reviews just to get a glimpse of, you know, what the game could be. And this is an upcoming title by Atlus, people that made the Persona games and, you know, Shin Megami Tensei. And I went down to the comment section of this cool article. You know, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was a good article. And I also like to get the community perspective of these kind of titles, especially when I don't know anything about it. And this guy here, Stick Him Up, shout out to him. I don't even know who the hell this is. He says, I hope that it's better than Shin Megami Tensei 5. That bored me to death. I put 20 hours in and bailed. Now, before I read you what somebody said in rebuttal to this is your reminder that the internet is a big ass traffic of random people on the internet that are just dumb as fuck. This random dude replied and said, Japanese games are boring because they're designed to waste your life with slow turn-based combat, too much conversation, and too many enemies to attack. Japanese people don't produce a video game, they produce a program to make people escape from real life and have them get what they want in virtual life because they cannot have it in real life. We're talking about a video game. And then Stick 'Em Up replied in the most satisfying way possible when he said, the dumbest comment I've read today. Congrats, I feel like you've never spoken to a girl without giving her your credit card number. Yeah. It's about true. Anyways, moving on from some incel behavior, let's talk about Nintendo, because I've yet to talk about anything Nintendo in the Wizard Weekly, and I feel like that's a sin because Nintendo is one of my favorite platforms this year. You know, I've been playing a lot of Nintendo games this year. Anyways, we have another leak, well, again, rumor, about Switch 2 having backwards compatibility. Now, this isn't the first time that we've seen anything about backwards compatibility. You know, we've seen multiple outlets in the previous years saying that the Switch 2 is going to be able to play regular Switch games, which I would hope that's the case because we have a lot of Switch games that's coming out, like really big Switch games that's coming out later this year. And for those games to not work on the new console, which I'm guessing maybe even if it's not compatible, this is still gonna get like re-released or whatever, but I would just hope that you will be able to play Switch games on a Switch 2. Like, that's just, come on, you know, let's have another Wii moment with that. Actually, take that back, let's not do that. Anyways, the guy that said this, you know, recent plug of backwards compatibility is a dude named Nate the Hate, who, according to this article, says that he has a track record of breaking news, but personally, I only know Nate the Hate for saying things that aren't particularly true. Earlier in the year, Nate the Hate went on a podcast and he told the world that, you know, he actually doubled down on saying that the Switch 2 is going to get announced in March of this year. And we all know that that just did not happen.
All I can say is what I said on my show, is that the Switch 2 appears to be poised and ready for a reveal or an announcement in March.
Now, that's the person that we're getting this report from, so, you know, take that as you will, but I still want to talk about it because I just hope that the Switch 2 has backwards compatibility. You know, I'm not saying that this is right or this is wrong, but, you know, that's the messenger. We do know, hopefully for a fact, that Nintendo did announce that they were going to release something about the Switch 2 sometime this year, and hopefully prep it for release mid to late next year. Hopefully. As far as what the console is going to be and what it's looking like, we don't still know much about it. You know, we do have reports claiming that the console is going to be pretty much on par with the PlayStation 4 in its dock mode, and PlayStation 4 Pro in its you know, the TV mode when you hook it up to the TV, and it's going to feature NVIDIA DLSS, which is a real-time imaging upscaling feature that, you know, gives you essentially a higher frame per second. But again, nothing's confirmed, but still fun to talk about. So hopefully, you know, what they're saying is true, and hopefully, you know, these leakers have, you know, pretty good grounds for what they're saying. But of course, we're just going to have to wait and see what about that. Okay, I lied. I have more to talk about. You know, I said that was going to be the last topic, but, you know, I couldn't not talk about this. So, you know, you guys remember earlier, I think last year or earlier this year, when Sega announced that they were going to be, you know, re-releasing some of their biggest games from the yesteryear, some of their biggest franchises, like, you know, Golden Axe, Jet Set Radio, and was it Crazy Taxi? Well, we've got some more leaks. A couple months ago, we got the Crazy Taxi leak that surfaced on Twitter, where they're going to be remastering the first game, basically. And we've got some leaks on some of these, you know, new games that Sega is going to be having in their Legacy Revival projects. Like right here, we got that Crazy Taxi game that's going to be a massively online driving game. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty indifferent about the whole, you know, multiplayer thing. I'm not a multiplayer fan, especially now, but it looks fun. I do like racing online, so I'll give it a try if I can, but, you know, I'm pretty indifferent about seeing Crazy Taxi as a multiplayer game. But not only do we have Crazy Taxi, but they also showed a look at this upcoming Shinobi title. I want to play the audio. Show the gameplay here. So we got a basic Metroidvania style side scrolling. Very good. This reminds me of playing Non-Souls. I recently played that. I didn't beat it because it conquered me. The shit was hard as hell, but, you know. Shinobi being a classic title from the yesteryear, people are going to be really excited to play that. And these, of course, are leaks, not the final product. So I got to say that, you know, don't judge your opinion on these titles based on what you're seeing right now, because, you know, obviously things are going to change. But still pretty fun to see, because Sega has some really good franchises that, you know, people have wanted to see these reboots for a long ass time. And the fact that we're finally getting them soon, it's really good to see. But yeah, man, that's all I got to say for today. I'll see you on the next one.